While the West debates, China dominates. How did they win the EV war? For over a century, the heart of the automotive world beat in places like Detroit, Stuttgart, and Tokyo. These were the undisputed capitals of car culture and innovation. But what if I told you that the future of the car, the very machine that defines modern mobility, is no longer being forged in these traditional strongholds? What if the new center of the automotive universe has shifted halfway across the globe, to the sprawling, dynamic megacities of China? It's a reality that might seem sudden, even shocking, to many in the West. While our headlines are filled with the latest from Tesla, Ford, and Volkswagen, a seismic shift has been occurring, largely under the radar. China hasn't just entered the electric vehicle race, it has sprinted to the front of the pack, creating the largest, most advanced, and most brutally competitive EV market on the planet. The numbers are simply staggering. In the last year alone, China sold more electric cars than the rest of the world combined. Let that sink in. More than Europe, more than the United States, combined. This isn't just a fleeting trend, it's a tectonic shift in a multi-trillion-dollar global industry. And it's not just about sheer volume. A new generation of automotive giants is rising from this hyper-competitive ecosystem. Names you might not be familiar with yet, but soon will be household words. Companies like BYD, backed by Warren Buffett, which has already surpassed Tesla in global EV sales. Daring innovators like NIO, with its revolutionary battery-swapping technology that solves range anxiety in minutes. And the tech-forward XPeng pushing the boundaries of in-car software and autonomous driving. These aren't just copycats, they are formidable competitors, designing and building world-class vehicles that are now beginning to land on European, Latin American, and Southeast Asian shores, with North America firmly in their sights. So, the unavoidable question is, how did this happen? How did a nation that was a relative latecomer to the automotive game manage to leapfrog a century of Western and Japanese dominance in less than 2 decades? Was it simply a matter of throwing trillions of yuan in government subsidies and protectionist policies at the problem? Was it a series of brilliant, homegrown technological breakthroughs in battery chemistry and manufacturing efficiency? Or was it something more profound? A meticulously crafted, long-term national strategy to not just participate in the electric revolution, but to own it. In this video, we're going to pull back the curtain on China's incredible rise to EV supremacy. We'll investigate the key pillars of their strategy, from massive state-led investments in charging infrastructure and cutting-edge research, to the hyper-competitive domestic market that has served as a brutal Darwinian incubator for innovation. We'll explore how they methodically secured a near-monopolistic stranglehold on the global battery supply chain, from mining the raw materials to manufacturing the finished cells, a critical choke point that legacy automakers are now desperately trying to bypass. This story is about far more than just cars. It's a story about economic ambition, geopolitical strategy, and the future of global manufacturing. The outcome of this race will define not only who builds the cars we drive, but also who controls the technology, the jobs, and the immense economic power that comes with it. The ripple effects will be felt in every corner of the globe, from the assembly lines in Michigan to the boardrooms in Germany, as established giants face an existential threat. We'll break down the precise policies, the key technological advancements, and the unique cultural factors that created this perfect storm. And you will absolutely want to stay with us until the very end, because we'll reveal the one, often overlooked strategic advantage that China is leveraging right now, a move that could permanently lock in its dominance and fundamentally change what the future of mobility looks like for all of us. What's happening in China today is a direct preview of the car you, your friends, and your family will be driving tomorrow. The revolution is already here. Let's dive in. China builds more EVs than any other country, thanks to massive factories and vertical integration. Blade battery, sodium-ion, and solid-state tech. China leads the battery race. Coming up, how policy helped fuel this rise. China's EV boom is backed by aggressive subsidies, infrastructure, and long-term strategy. The Chinese EV invasion is no longer a future prediction, it's a present-day reality unfolding on a global scale. What began as a domestic boom has now spilled over, creating a tidal wave of electric vehicles washing up on shores far from home. Spearheading this charge are automotive giants and ambitious startups alike. Powerhouse brands like BYD, the world's largest EV manufacturer, along with the premium innovator NIO, and the revitalized British-born MG, are aggressively planting their flags in new territories. They are now actively selling and delivering cars in the highly competitive markets of Europe, the rapidly growing economies of Southeast Asia, and the emerging EV frontiers of Latin America. This isn't a tentative first step, it's a full-scale, coordinated global offensive, backed by immense industrial capacity and a clear ambition to dominate the next era of mobility. They're not just shipping cars, they're exporting an entire ecosystem, building dedicated shipping fleets, establishing slick high-tech showrooms, and forging strategic partnerships with local distributors to ensure a powerful market entry. In Europe, the spiritual home of the automobile, this expansion represents a direct challenge to the established order. Chinese brands are no longer content with competing at the budget end of the market. They are launching premium sedans and SUVs designed to go head-to-head with the likes of BMW, Mercedes, and Audi, often on their own turf. They're achieving 5-star Euro NCAP safety ratings and opening flagship experience centers like the NIO houses in prime city center locations. Meanwhile, in Southeast Asia and Latin America, the strategy is about capturing the hearts and minds of the burgeoning middle class, for whom an EV is suddenly an attainable aspiration. By setting up local manufacturing plants in countries like Thailand and Brazil, they are embedding themselves into the local economy, creating jobs, and tailoring their products to regional tastes and needs. For decades, the perception of Chinese cars in the West was often dismissive, shadowed by a reputation for being mere imitations, or built solely to a low price point. But that narrative is becoming dangerously outdated. While competitive pricing remains a key part of their strategy, the real Trojan horse is technology. These vehicles are rolling showcases of digital innovation, packed with massive high-resolution touchscreens, sophisticated driver assistance systems, and connected features that can make even established luxury brands feel a step behind. But this raises the most critical question for any potential buyer. It's one thing to load a car with impressive hardware and a long list of features on a spec sheet. It's another thing entirely to make it all work together in a cohesive, intuitive, and reliable way. So beyond the sticker price and the dazzling screens, what about the tech and user experience? Is the software a genuine delight or a frustrating mess of bugs and poor translations? Are these truly polished global products or just domestic market cars struggling with a new language? Chinese EVs offer advanced infotainment, voice control, and smart features at lower prices. China's EVs are priced for the masses, making electric mobility mainstream. So, what does this mean for Tesla and the West? China didn't just join the EV race, they're leading it. For decades, the global automotive landscape was dominated by the West and Japan. But in the seismic shift to electric vehicles, China saw a once-in-a-century opportunity to not just compete, but to redefine the entire industry. Through immense government investment, strategic control over the battery supply chain, and fostering a hyper-competitive domestic market, they have built an EV ecosystem that is unparalleled in its scale and speed. Companies like CATL and BYD don't just supply China, they supply the world, giving the nation a powerful lever in the global economy. This calculated strategy has paid off. Today, more EVs are sold in China than in the rest of the world combined. This brings us to the most critical question facing the auto industry for the next decade. Can the West catch up? And if so, how? This isn't just a matter of corporate pride, it's a battle for economic relevance, technological supremacy, and the future of personal mobility as we know it. The legacy automakers of America and Europe are finally waking up to the existential threat. The sleeping giants are stirring, and they are pouring hundreds of billions of dollars into a massive electrification push. We're seeing a wave of new models from workhorses like the F-150 Lightning that aim to win over the heartland, to stylish family haulers from Volkswagen and Hyundai. Governments are also stepping in. The Inflation Reduction Act in the United States, for example, is a direct and aggressive policy move designed to build a domestic EV and battery supply chain from the ground up, effectively trying to replicate China's strategy on home soil. The West's path to victory may not be in trying to outproduce China, but in out-innovating it in other areas. Western automakers still hold powerful advantages in brand recognition, global distribution networks, and perceived build quality. Furthermore, the battle is shifting from hardware to software. Tesla proved that the modern car is a computer on wheels, and the user experience, the software, the interface, the connected services, is becoming just as important as the drivetrain. This is a front where Silicon Valley and European tech hubs could give Western automakers a crucial edge. However, the road ahead is fraught with challenges. The West is playing a desperate game of catch-up in the battery arms race. Building mines, refineries, and gigafactories takes years, and securing the necessary raw materials is a complex geopolitical chess match. Meanwhile, Chinese brands are no longer just competing on price. Their latest models from companies like NIO and Zeekr are winning awards for design, technology, and quality, and they are now aggressively expanding into Europe and other international markets. Ultimately, this global showdown is incredible news for us, the consumers. This fierce competition will accelerate innovation, expand choices, and drive down prices faster than ever before. The car you buy in 5 years will be a direct product of this high-stakes race. The question of who will win is still unanswered, and it will be fascinating to watch. Now, we want to turn that question over to you. What do you believe is the West's single biggest advantage in this race? Is it brand loyalty, software innovation, or government policy? Comment your thoughts below. We read every single one. And if you enjoyed this deep dive and want more insights into the electric revolution, don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell. Thanks for watching.